The EU is collapsing. Is Germany on the hook for billions of defaulting bonds imposed on the poorer members? The EU technocrats are panicking. So let's discuss. Hello, Patriots. It's the Cockney Pollster here, and thank you for joining me today. I hope you are all well. On a day when a new piece of graffiti artwork was revealed overnight and claimed to be by the enigma known as Banksy, what happens when all the leaves on that tree grow back? Nobody will be able to see the sodding thing. We, though, will be looking at a poll result which asks a very emotive question, and the result is interesting. And if that result is anything to go by, the entire political landscape will be changed dramatically and forever, right across Europe. And what is the catalyst for this? What will be the final straw? Well, quite simply, it will be down to French patriot Firebrand, who, just like Nigel Farage, is about to realise a long held dream. Who is the Firebrand? You have heard of the lady, of course, because she has been around for an age. Her name, Marine Le Pen. But let me be clear here, patriots. Whilst it's tempting to believe that a political tsunami of right wing fervour will do for the EU, and it will certainly be welcomed by yours truly, no, there is an even more dire and destructive financial black swan event which will be coming at the EU from the other direction, and where combined with the upcoming political earthquake, it will result in my old favourite, the convergence of chaos for the EU. I put a poll out to you guys, which we'll be discussing in a moment. But before we take a look at the result, let's just examine what this inevitability looks like and how it came about. Le Pen is one thing, and I will cover the poll results shortly, but the financial black swan Armageddon is, in reality, much, much worse. For an age now, people have been predicting the end of the EU and its collapse, but the technocrats have managed, somehow, to keep kicking the can down the road. So the Remainers and the Rejoiner cult members have been able to sneer at us, who they see as anti-Europeans and Brexiteer doommongers, and they smugly torment us with, "You've been trying that one for over 25 years, blah, bloody blah." But they won't be able to this time. Why? Because there is literally no road left to kick the can down the road. And with Le Pen's inevitable takeover of France looming, the technocrats are pooping themselves, take it from me. Let me explain. As we all know, the EU has nothing to do in reality with uniting the peoples of Europe. After the Second World War, they were doing that just nicely by themselves. Thank you very much. No, it's all about the central planners and authoritarians and their agenda, and the EU being the European part of that project through its so called political union. But even that was a proxy for the takeover and control of all of the poorer European countries by Germany. And like lapdogs, France has hung on to their shirt tails ever since. It's been pathetic to watch, really. But that could only be maintained provided that the UK eventually came to heel. Well, we soon reversed that, well, to an extent. And Germany's industrial powerhouse continued evermore. And through its proxy bank, the European Central Bank, they could bind in all the poorer members via the issue of bonds, and they would then sell their cars to the slave like members under a near perfect cartel. So all was cushy, right? Not anymore. That whole paradigm was an illusory house of cards. And fast forward to today, and all hell is breaking loose. Take it from me. And coupled with sheer panic, I can tell you. The ECB is bankrupt. Germany is in its ninth month of recession. Its biggest banks are imploding. There are literally, and I mean literally, trillions of euros of unrealised losses sitting on the balance sheets of the Eurozone banks. Germany, by the way, is also on the hook for all the default bonds underwriting the Eurozone which they imposed throughout the pandemic. So it's all now backfiring on them. And it's further exposed by the collapsing trillions of loans which are defaulting in the commercial real estate sector. You ain't seen nothing yet, folks. And finally, all of that lot is due for redemption in the coming months. They can't refinance any of it because the interest rates have quadrupled and none of the banks have any liquidity. You're just not reading about it yet. It will come very soon. But they will just print more money, right? Not this time. Nobody seriously believes that inflation is beaten. And despite desperately manipulating the data and lying to us about the official inflation figures, core inflation over in the States is spiking again. So interest rates are not going to be going down, and they know it because the Fed won't allow it. They've got to keep the value of the dollar up. So to print more money, known as quantitative easing, means yet higher inflation and the doom loop continues all over again. It's over. As I say, the road has run out for the EU. So with Marine Le Pen winning the next election and Germany's three-quarters of a century dominance coming to a sharp end, the speculators are now circling the euro, and with the eurozone's inevitable collapse, it will take down the unelected parasite technocrats with it. Lovely jubbly. Even 3 years from a national vote, the prospect of a Le Pen presidency is inevitable, as polls show National Rally, I think that was their rebranded National Front, is seriously building momentum for a large victory in June's European elections. A dry run for the 2027 race, eh? At the same time, President Emmanuel Macron is blocked from pushing any of his initiatives through Parliament, in which Le Pen's party has now a substantial foothold. And the French farmers are not going away, and their protests, fortitude, and their sheer defiance will see Le Pen over the line this time. By the way, just a reality check, patriots. If you think the UK finances are not in the same boat, I would suggest that you seriously think again. Our only respite is that we are not in the Eurozone, but that won't be much comfort, take it from me. So, what was your verdict? I put the following question out there yesterday. Marine Le Pen would win majority if French election was held now. Her national rally would win up to 305 seats, landing her a majority for the first time. And Macron's party would be nearly halved. Is the EU's collapse inevitable? Binary choice, yes and no, and 90.9% at the time of recording this say yes, which I completely concur with, of course. But as I just mentioned, the UK will not be protected, and the same issues with spiking inflation, no bank liquidity, collapsing commercial real estate sector, all those glass edifices built in the city and financed by cheap corporate bonds and loans, they are all due this year. Oh dear. And how are they going to do that? Interest rates, as I say, have quadrupled. There are financiers and the pension funds, of which are heavily invested and involved in all of this commercial real estate building illusion over the past 15 or so years, that you've seen dramatic landscape changes of the City of London, haven't you? It's all coming home to roost. So there you have it. Do leave your comments below, and thank you for joining me today. And if you can like, share, subscribe, and press the notification bell, then I will be honoured, patriots. And please do ask your friends and followers to come and participate in my polls so that you can have your say. I'm the Cockney Pollster, and until next time, stay safe, patriots.